We live in Charleston, South Carolina, a beautiful and historic coastal city. Every year, more than 5 million visitors come to see our historic buildings and visit our beaches. But there's something else that's been happening lately that not everyone knows about. Our city has been flooding. A lot.
We had big floods in 2015, 16, and 17 from storms. But sometimes, even on days when there is no rain, our streets flood when the tide is high.
We became really interested in flooding when we found out our classmate had lost her home in a flood. We asked Aniston what happened.
Well, my house got flooded first in Hurricane Matthew, and then it got flooded the second time in Hurricane Irma. So we had to bring it up to code, and it's going to cost as much money to build a new house, so we just decided to build a new house. So right now, currently, my house is being destroyed because of the flood, and we found mold in our walls, and there was mold in our floor. So we just have to bring it up to code, and our house just got flooded, and it was really sad.
She told us they were tearing down her house that week, so we drove out to see it and meet her family. They described what it was like when their house flooded.
It was like a gigantic pond out here.
Yep. So this was our dining room, and the water was, over ankle deep when Ron and Aniston and Caroline were here and had to evacuate quickly from the house because we didn't expect Hurricane Irma to bring that kind of storm surge.
Yep. When we opened the front door, we had some sandbags in front of the front door like that high, and when we opened the front door, what happened, Aniston and Caroline?
The water came in.
What was it, like a river coming in?
Did you guys ever have to swim through the water?
No.
No, I think
he carried us on his back.
The Druzels said their house never flooded before 2015, not even during hurricanes.
We wanted to find out more about the flooding in our city, so we invited an expert in environmental conservation, Kate Schaefer, to our school.
We asked her if the flooding in Charleston is getting worse.
In the past 30 years, we've seen flooding increase by 40%.
We asked her why the flooding was getting worse.
Well, it is a combination of higher tides, and that's driven by sea level rise globally and locally.
We wondered if the Druzels had noticed the tide getting higher.
We've noticed over that time period that the tides have gotten higher.
It comes much further up. We have a swing set that's out in the back, and the tides just not come that high, and now on a significantly high tide, it comes past the swing set. So.
We asked Kate Schaefer if there was anything we could do to fight the flooding.
And one of the ways we can adapt is to change where we develop by preserving things like wetlands and rivers.
While we were filming our story, the mayor of our city, John Tecklenburg, gave his State of the City address.
We simply must make flooding and drainage our city's top long-range priority.
The mayor said the city would build a stronger seawall to protect the historic district from the ocean, build better drainage systems, and make smarter decisions on where to build new neighborhoods.
The mayor also said the city is planning for a 2 to 3 foot rise in Charleston sea level by 2050. We wanted to see what that would mean for our city, so we went to a website that shows sea level rise on a map.
This is a map of Charleston today.
And this is a map of Charleston with a 3-foot sea level rise. A lot of our city would be flooded. We wondered how much money it would cost to protect all those neighborhoods, or if it was even possible. It sounds like the flooding isn't going to stop anytime soon. Protecting marshes and rivers, raising houses high from the ground, making better choices about where to build, all these things will help us deal with more flooding.
And we know the people in our city are strong. We will adapt to our new environment, but one thing we've learned is our city will look very, very different when we're adults.
Technology and social media affect people in many different ways.
Hello? We're outside. Mom didn't pick us up. We're the only ones here and it's freezing outside.
Many kids have phones under the age of 10. The average age children start using the internet is 3. Kids go on websites that have music with curse words. Lots of kids who use certain apps don't know that they can be hacked by people who can figure out where they live and even be targets of cyberbullying. Even watching YouTube, there are ads that can influence kids wrongly. With online predators and cyberbullying on the rise, children must be protected from the various negative influences on the internet and social media.
From Newark, New Jersey, and the desk of Branch Brook School Eagles, here are Jeremy, Isaiah, and Nicholas. Hi, today we bring you a special report on the impact of social media and technology on kids.
Did you know over 60% of kids 13 through 17 spend more than 2 hours a day on social networks?
75% of American children under the age of 13 have their own smartphone. 31% say it's to contact their family, while 20% say it's to communicate with friends.
Lucas went on the field to ask folks what they thought was the right age for a child to have his or her own smartphone.
Yep, we did our own survey at school, and here's what people had to say. What age do you think a child should have a cell phone?
At the age of 12.
Is somewhere between the age of 7 and 8, and that would be first or second grade.
So what age do you think a child have a cell phone?
10.
All right, 10.
I would say 11.
What age should a child have a cell phone?
I would say 13. Me personally, I say 13.
Why?
Because I believe around that time is like they're a little bit more independent. My daughter personally never really was like at school alone after school till about 12 or 13. So she was pretty much always with me or at the school. So I would say 13.
All the people we spoke with felt kids over the age of 10 are okay to have cell phones. The average age is 13. At Branch School, at least 8 out of 33 students have their own cell phone. So there you have it. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Thanks, Lucas. Kids and parents need to have an open conversation about having a smartphone, and the do's and the don'ts must be clear. Most social media networks prohibit children under the age of 13 to have their own accounts, but the age limits are not being enforced. So it's important to take steps to protect kids. Here are some tips.
There are safe social media's alternatives for kids. Setting up a firewall and parental locks on tablets, phones, and computers is helpful. Kids should not download websites or apps without permission and research from parents.
This is Branch Brook Eagle News for Kid Witness News. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Love alone won't save your child from computer predators. Computer safety will.
My name is Ethan Wiley, and I can't wait for you to see how immigrants impact our school every day. Edward T. Bowers is a true melting pot of over 50 countries.
Get ready to see some of our unique students, parents, and teachers.
Hi, my name is Alicia. I'd like you to meet my mom.
Hi, my name is Fatima. I'm Alicia's mom. My daughter's in 5th grade. Loves her school. She loves her teacher, loves her friends, and she loves to come to school every morning and loves her education, especially her math. She's an A student in math. I do give her a lot of extra homework to do at home. I give her extra math, doing extra some readings, especially. Sometimes she's tired of me. She tells me, Mommy, I'm in United States, I'm not in India. But I'll tell her, no, doesn't matter, India here, education comes first for me.
Hi, my name is Lucia Lee, and I'm from South Korea. I came to America when I was 5 years old. My parents, when they first came, they had to work 7 days a week, and they did it without a complaint. But they had to work under someone for several years, and then they were able to become their own business owners. And so that's what I'm able to translate to my students here in the classroom. I tell them that if they aspire to become a lawyer, instead of just settling to become a lawyer and working for someone, they can own a law firm, and so they could achieve whatever they want.
Hello, my name is Ethan Wiley, and this is my mom.
Hi, I'm Dolores Dover. I was born in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Encourage them every day to exceed expectations, always be on time, always be punctual, always listen in class, always be respectful of their teachers, and their grades will show all of that. But we are proud parents of 2 wonderful children. And every morning as we drop them off, our final words to them are, be the best you can be. I tell Ethan every day, it doesn't matter where you come from, where you're starting, it's how you finish.
Hello, my name is Jose Perez. I was born in Spain and I immigrated to the United States when I was 6 years old. Becoming a teacher was something that was a big deal in my family and in my life. I can see a lot of myself when I was little and a lot of the children that I teach to this day. I remember the struggles that I went through, the ups and the downs of learning a new language and adapting to a new culture. And I see a lot of the students that I teach kind of, taking the good from the important aspects of the American society and the American culture while still maintaining their dominant culture from different Spanish-speaking countries around the world.
So, these are my brothers and sisters, Adriana and Christian, and I'd like you to meet my mom.
Hi, my name is Majid Almon. I came to this country when I was 15 years old. I went to school here. I also had to go to school and work at the same time to help my mom because she was a single mother with 4 kids. I got these 3 beautiful kids right here. I'm trying to encourage them to go to school. All they need to worry about is go to school. That's their job, right, kids?
Yep.
And so, we work really hard for them to give them what they really need. And we want them to finish college and be something real good in life.
Hi, I'm Maria Musano. I'm a 3rd grade teacher. I am Italian by descent. And my parents were both born in Italy, and they immigrated from Italy to Argentina, and then from Argentina to the United States. So they rebuilt their lives twice, which really had them impact my life because my father and mother instilled a work ethic within my brother and I to study hard and to get an education. My brother and I were the first in our family to get a college education. And I love what I do. I'm a social studies teacher here at Bowser Elementary School. I incorporate my culture as an Italian into my lessons. My students love to hear some words in Italian and repeat them and speak. And I love for them to learn about my culture as I learn about theirs. So immigrants really impact my life and the community around me. That's it. Ciao.
Immigrants impact our school.
All right, we're here at your new school.
Mom, I can't go. I knew I'm gonna be teased because I'm deaf, and I only look at the lips.
You're gonna be fine. Just relax. Pretend like you're at your old school.
Hi, Mom. Are you staying at orchestra group at school?
Would you want to join if there's an orchestra group?
Hi, Mom. I always have dreams of playing the violin, and it looks like it would be a lot of fun.
Really, Emma? I don't believe this. You're never going to be able to play an instrument. You won't know which notes are the right ones. You're deaf. You can't be a musician.
But Mom...
You're deaf. You can't be a musician.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Miss Ellen.
Before we start our writing this morning, I wanted to let you guys know that we do have a new student, and her name is Emma Kesley.
Ellen. Why doesn't she speak properly? She sounds like a kindergartner. What's wrong with her? She looks so weird.
Enough. I was just about to explain that to you guys. Our new student is deaf and has a hearing problem, so I don't want to see any of you guys ever teasing this student again.
Yes, Miss Ellen.
I'm going to assign Emma a buddy to show her around school. Daisy, would you be her partner, please?
I would be happy to show her around.
Thank you for showing me around.
You're welcome.
Do you think there's an orchestra group in this school?
Yeah, why?
I love to play violin, but it's fine. I can't even play it anyway.
Well, that shouldn't change anything. I mean, you can still play the violin.
Really? You think I should try?
I'm sure Mrs. Green would love to help you as well.
Hello, Mrs. Cloud.
Oh, hi, Emma. How can I help you?
I know I'm deaf, right? My dream is to play a musical instrument. May you please lend me a violin?
That's your dream, is it? My kids used to play instruments. They don't play them anymore. I don't think they'd mind if we lent them to you. I just don't want to see them stuffed in the back of your closet. Is this what you really want?
Yes, it is, Mrs. Cloud.
Okay, then. Come to my house tomorrow before school and I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
Oh, look, there's the kindergartner. And she's got a violin with her. Does she really think she can play that?
She'll never be able to. I mean, she's deaf. She can't even speak properly, let alone play music the right way.
Yeah.
Oh, be quiet.
Oh, are you staking up for the little deaf girl? Don't listen to those guys. They just want attention. Let's go to the music room. Amy will be helping me teach you how to play the violin.
Okay, so how you hold the violin is you want to make sure your feet down are completely flat on the floor, and you want your arm peeked out from the violin. You don't want it touching the violin. Well, here, why don't you try and give it a shot? Oh, you need your shoulder out. Is this comfortable?
I'm really excited to welcome a new student to the stage. She's deaf, but that doesn't stop her from following her dreams. Please welcome Emma.
This is gonna be good.
I actually feel sorry for her. Kind of.
We should plug our ears.
Of course I am.
But I thought you wouldn't come.
I'm so proud of you, Emma. You did such a great job. You proved me wrong. I now know you can do anything, no matter what challenge you face.
Emma, I owe you a huge apology. I think you were awesome.
Ditto, what she said. You can play even though you're deaf.
You didn't just play great, you sounded great.
To all women and girls.
At some point, someone will tell you no.
Some people will tell you you're not strong, smart, or brave.
Some will even tell you to give up your hopes and dreams.
That was awful. I don't know why you even try to play clarinet.
To all women and girls, don't pay attention to them.
Yes, you can.
You are strong, smart, and brave.
Never give up your hopes and dreams. To all women and girls.
Do not give up! Hi, I'm Dr. Willis. Most people are aware of how bad texting is. For example, driving while texting and walking while texting has led to fatalities. Too much texting has also led people to having difficulty interacting with others in real life. They are lacking the social skills, but there's something that is starting to affect more and more people. It's mostly the youth that are afflicted as they use their phones more than any other demographic. It's called elephantitis. With the extreme use of phones and texting, some children are developing enlarged thumbs. The condition is causing a variety of problems for those affected. For example, it is difficult to button a shirt, zip up a coat, and pick up a pencil. In addition to physical problems, those with elephantitis can face alienation from their peers. difficulty fitting in, and many other problems yet to be discovered.
Hi, I am Laura. I was 6 when my parents got me my first phone. It was great since I had learned to spell and read early. The phone was a reward for that. I didn't notice my thumbs getting big, as it happened so gradually. It was my great-grandmother that first noticed. It had been a few years since I had seen her last, and she commented on the size of my thumbs. I wasn't having any problems then. We figured it wasn't a big deal. Well, my thumbs kept getting bigger and bigger, and I began to have problems. Then, first thing I noticed was that it was actually getting tricky to actually text, as I couldn't always click on the letter I wanted. Then it began to get harder for me to get dressed. Buttons and zippers are very difficult. I avoid zippers and buttons whenever I can. Another difficult thing for me is picking up a pencil and writing with it. I have been making my own pencil grips. I have duct tape to make it easier for me. Even eating food is hard for me. Using a knife, fork, or spoon is tricky. The hardest thing has been being out in public. I usually keep my hands in my pockets. If I don't, people stare at me and little kids point.
That I would like to ask you about music.
All right, go right ahead.
So the first question is, how would you feel if music was taken out of schools?
I think school would be a lot more boring, and the children really need that as a relief and a way to let out their feelings and their emotions.
Okay, so the second question is, how do you think music impacts children?
It expands their minds. It allows them to do better, to think critically a little bit more.
The last question is, why is music an important part of your life?
Because I do it 100% of the time of my life, and it's my dream and my goal.
Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, Amber and Rita.
Today we have you here because we would like you to answer some questions about the music program. I'd like you to give your honest opinion and try your best.
Okay. Treasure, first question. What would you do if we did not have a music program in our school?
If we didn't have a music program in my school, I will get everybody that's in the school to sign a petition and give it to the school board.
It's very protective. Next question. Jasmine, as a school principal, would you eliminate the music program?
As a school principal, I would not eliminate the music program because a lot of kids like music, and then if I eliminate the music program, I'll just crush their dreams and ruin their future plans to become a musician.
Hamza, if you were the principal, would you encourage music lovers to donate new instruments for the music program?
Yes, I would, because there are lots of instruments that we have that are broken down and very old. So new instruments would be better to use because, the instruments are very old, so they might sound different or not good at all. So that's why I think that's why I think music lovers should donate to music.
Akila, what is your opinion about the music program not offered in some schools?
I really think that is very unfair and sad because some kids really do like music, as Jasmine said, and also it helps de-stress some people, and it also helps with memory. It also helps with their memory, so that would be a loss of some advantages.
Okay, for the next question, we'll answer this as a whole.
Everybody, would you give a donation to encourage music in schools?
I would give I would give a donation to encourage music in schools because lots of kids love music and they want to be a musician, as Jasmine said. So giving donations to the school will help them get more instruments, as Hamza said, and get a teacher to teach other kids.
Answer.
Jasmine? I would give a donation to schools to have a music program because, well, I like music. I'm pretty sure almost everybody in this, pretty sure all of us like music. So, and if you like music, then why not give a donation to help something that you love?
I would give a donation to encourage music in schools because, like they said, music is a thing that is around the world and people like music. And like Akila said, it helps you with stress and like it helps you like with other things. It helps you, it helps the progressing with the brain, helps you focus and all of that. So I think I would give a donation to help to encourage music in schools.
Okay, Akila.
Yes, I would give a donation because it would, first, not only would it help them, like you said, it would also help out the teachers, because like the teachers can't teach with broken instruments and things that's not working. So if I do because I like music too, so if I do donate money or instruments, it would help them out way more than, like, a lot. It would really help them out.
Thank you, students, for letting us interview you. My name is Vaida Korea.
And my name is Amber Pineda.
We have Ruby. She's the first student here at JFK that's going to get her phone activated. Let me get a high five. Okay.
Yes!
Okay. Yes. Tell me some of the things while I set you up that you're going to do with your phone. All right.
MobyMax, kind of Pandora, and check my emails, of course.
Alright, folks, so we're going to call the number for the first time. Hit the redial button. Let's see.
Hello?
I can hear you. Take it off the charger. Put it to your ear. Can you hear me?
Yes. He's right in here.
Okay. Go outside in the hallway. See if it works in the hallway.
Okay.
And can you hear me? Okay. Come back in, Ruby. Bye.
I got a new tablet, best friend.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And I got, since I go look up, since look at pictures.
Those are some things you're going to do with your tablet?
Yes.
Look for pictures? Yes. All right, what else? What else do you think you're going to do with your tablet?
After I go on internet.
You're going to internet. Oh, that's awesome. Maureen, are you excited?
Yeah.
Why are you excited?
I'm excited. Got my tablet.
Got your tablet.
Because to find me the new job and
what else are you gonna do with it? You gonna look for a new job on your tablet?
Yes.
That's awesome because you've been working on these different things. What else you want to do with it? Or how else are you gonna use it?
Looking at the pictures.
Okay. Looking at pictures, taking pictures. All right, Star, you're excited too. I see that smile, Star. Why are you so excited? You got your tablet also? Tablet. What are you gonna use yours for? Same thing? All right, good. All right, Daniel. You excited to have yours also?
Yes.
All right. What do you plan on doing? I know you're a big wrestling enthusiast.
Look at information.
Look at information. All right.
Good job.
Awesome. So you're looking for employment? I know you see
Yes.
employment. Maybe going online and looking for some applications.
Yes.
In Michigan, almost 1.5 million people go hungry every day, and almost 400,000 of them are children. That means 1 in every 6 Michigan children struggle with hunger every day. Worldwide, about 795 million people don't have enough food to eat. Despite food being so precious, Americans throw out billions of dollars of food each year. Most of that goes to landfills. Americans also burn their leftover food and solid waste in burn barrels in low-temperature fires. That equals 1.8 billion pounds of trash a year. Backyard burning in burn barrels is a serious problem that produces toxic air pollution that is a health hazard to people, animals, and our environment. That can either be released at ground level where the chemicals can be inhaled or incorporated into our food chain. So instead of throwing out our food or burning it in a burn barrel, we need to realize we need to educate people to make wiser choices, donate, share, and care. So what are you going to do?
My story starts at 3. My parents, they noticed that I wasn't as energetic as I was, and so they checked my blood sugar. I had diabetes. Diabetes is a really serious disease, especially if you don't notice it in time. Some patients die before they're able to get to the hospital. I was really scared of having people notice that I have diabetes because I was like, people won't be my friends then. So it took me some time to actually tell people my story. But when I first told my friends about it, they were like, okay, so you have this disease, what do you do? I had told them I take my insulin. I also told them I have to check my sugar, which is very important, or I will not know what my blood sugar is. Because if my sugar gets too high, then it could be a high chance of me going back to the hospital, which is not good. And also, if my sugar is low, it will also be another chance that I have to be taken to the hospital. And sometimes people do die from low blood sugar. There are 2 types of diabetes, type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is where you have little to no insulin in the body. Insulin comes from the pancreas, which is located close to the stomach. And if you don't have any insulin, you won't be able to control the sugar in your blood, which is very, very dangerous. Type 2 diabetes is where you have enough insulin to where you don't have to take shots, but you still have to take a pill to strengthen your insulin that's in your pancreas throughout the body. Somebody that I really want to inspire the most is my little sister. She is 9 years old and she was first diagnosed with diabetes at 7. How I see my future with diabetes is I'll inspire younger people with diabetes to listen to your parents because they know what they're talking about when it comes to checking your sugar, taking your insulin, not eating a lot of junk.
Paterson, the third largest city in the state of New Jersey and home to the new Roberto Clemente Middle School. Here at NRC, the school has been a subject of an invasion. Hundreds and hundreds of origami cranes have invaded the halls and classrooms of our school. To find out what's responsible for this invasion, we talked to Mrs. Mandel, the school art teacher.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Mandel. I work at New Roberto Clemente School in Paterson, New Jersey, and I am one of the art teachers, and I focus on three-dimensional art. The Peace for Paterson project is something that we've been working on since the beginning of the year. It started in September, and there was a lot of violence going on in the city, and I wanted to do something to kind of bring the community together, and what better way than art? So I started the Peace for Paterson project, where the goal was and still is to make 1,000 cranes, and with 1,000 cranes you get a wish, and it would be Peace for Paterson. The crane represents love because cranes only have one mate for the rest of their life, which I think is beautiful. And you could also do different colors, and we chose to do rainbow because that also represents like one love. In Japan, there was a girl, I believe her name was Sudoku. She was affected by the Hiroshima bomb, and her school made 1,000 cranes after she was diagnosed with cancer. And so they, like every year they would make 1,000 cranes, and their wish would be for her to become better. That was also my inspiration. And also turning something 2D into 3D in my class is really what I teach, so it kind of like all came into place. We decorate the paper and we write inspirational words, maybe letters, stories. A lot of them say Peace for Paterson, maybe the symbol of peace, hearts. They fold those cranes. I've been collecting them. I started collecting branches. Some are bigger than others. These gigantic branches. It actually looks like a tree coming out of a really big planter. It's really like this beautiful tree. It's very organic looking, and it has like all the rainbows coming down, so it really pops off of the tree. It's really beautiful. We also started making 3D printed cranes, which is so awesome because you're really limited with the paper crane. I mean, not limited, like you could still make beautiful installations, and it's more like hands-on, and you're really connected to the paper that you're folding, but you can't put them outside. But with these cranes, they're made out of plastic, and I mean, they're so cool. Look at it, the way the light hits it. So this will be the next evolution of the crane installation outside. We have trees outside, weather resistant, and this is the future. My hope for the project is a few things. One, I hope that with the 1,000 cranes and the rainbow colors, you could actually see it from outside of the school. So the community walking by, they see it in all the windows. I want people to start talking about Paterson and Peace for Paterson and just working together as a team. I can't make 1,000 cranes myself, and I don't think anybody could in a year or 6 months or whatever, but I want it to be a sign of working together and hope that there will be Peace for Paterson and there will be beauty on the streets again, and a place where people feel safe and the community just comes together and supports each other, and there's less violence.
My crane represents peace and love. You can help spread peace and love by keeping Paterson in your prayers. Together we can help make Paterson a better and safer place.
This is my crane, and its color is light gray. For some weird reason, people think the color gray is dark and sad. But to me, I think it's like a dark color with a lighter side. So let's bring out the lighter side of Paterson by stopping the violence in our community and solving our problems peacefully.
This is my crane. The crane represents love and hope. My hope is that all violence ends for Paterson and we can all unite as one.
granted.
But Meredy and her family see it as the gift it really is.
My name is Meredy. I am 17 years old and I like to cook, listen to music, and I like to ride horses. And this is my story. I like to dance and sing. That's how I hurt my knee. Now I have to sit and sing with my YouTube videos.
Hi, I'm Meredy's mommy, and my name's Merida. And when Meredy was born, she had a lot of trauma at birth, and due to that, we had a lot of challenges that we had to overcome. So we just keep looking for new ways to allow Meredy to overcome her cerebral palsy and to get out into this world and be her and enjoy it and have a fulfilled life. I was sitting in a doctor's office and this little boy is playing with his iPad and it's talking back to him. And what's going on? I haven't heard of this. And Meredy went over to the little boy and started looking at what he was doing in the waiting room. And they start talking back and forth with this app that she had only seen for 5 minutes. So I knew right then this was going to be our answer. This was going to be a way Meredy could talk to the outside world. His mother and I started talking about how this app was developed, and she said the wounded warriors coming back with brain trauma had been able to use this device to reconnect and talk to their families. And it's just been a miracle. It's been an answer to our prayers.
Meredy is my older sister, and I'm going to tell you about her. Me and Meredy are practically best friends. Even though she is older than me, we're like twins. I have a lot of fun with Meredy because we like to ride the four-wheeler together. We've had a few accidents with the four-wheeler, but it always turns out okay. Meredy makes me laugh whenever I don't feel so happy. And I make her laugh sometimes too.
Hi Meredy, I hear you do a lot of therapy. Can you tell us what OT is like?
OT helps me get stronger with my movements. It allows me rope more independent.
That's cool. It's good to be strong.
I have a story to tell you about when I was little. I used to get made fun of for being short, so I asked Meredy, how did she handle being made fun of? Can you tell them what you told me? She told me, blow it off, it doesn't matter. I know who I am, and that's all that matters.
Do you have a best friend?
Yes, Dee Moore is one of my best friends. We have known each other since kindergarten. She lets me be myself and we love each other very much.
Meredy and I learned to crawl together and we learned to walk together. She is my driving force and my inspiration every day. Because I know that if she could do it, she would give it all she's got. So I'm going to give it all I've got. You're my hero, Meredy. I love you.
What do you like to do with your family?
I like to cook with my mom and dad. My favorite job is getting everything ready and stirring.
Meredy, how does this app change your life?
Now I can talk to everyone and they understand.
You are very easy to talk to.
Meredy, what would you like people to know?
I would like them to see me and not my disability. I would like to thank all the men and women who fight for our freedom and in helping the disabled community to have a voice.
She's making her own bloopers priceless.
The reason why we're here today is to spend time at Nurtured by Nature and get to swim with otters and to kind of forget about life stress and to experience something wonderful. So my son Luke was diagnosed with osteosarcoma. It's a rare form of bone cancer, and his was underneath his brain, back behind his nose. Luke was in the hospital for 10 months, and it was about 4 days out of every week we were inpatient in the hospital, and he had over 40 doses of chemotherapy.
The battling cancer changed my life because I had to stay in the hospital for 10 months and I couldn't get out, or most of the time I'd stay, and there were a lot of pills I had to take. That was a struggle because there was a lot that I had to take. There was so many, and especially the shots were a tough time for me because they hurt a lot and I couldn't handle it. But somehow, with the help of my nurses and my family, I survived.
We started Nurtured by Nature in 2008. For many years before that, though, we had a desire to do something like what we're doing, which is provide the interactive experience to kids that are visiting from places like Make-A-Wish Foundation, so that they could experience the joy that many people get from interacting directly with animals. We decided on the name Nurtured by Nature because we really do feel like nature is very nurturing, and the animals that we have here are very good at bringing not only happiness but also comfort to a lot of our guests that visit. Whether they have been suffering some sort of long-term medical issue, some sort of emotional trauma, or just some of our regular everyday guests, they always come here and tell us how it's been such a joyful experience.
There's just so many things that are magical about this job. I feel incredibly lucky to have been doing this for 5 years. Not only do I love animals, it's also just an opportunity to be able to provide a wonderful special day for the Make-A-Wish families, and I feel amazingly privileged to be a part of this organization and to just be a small portion of their day and just see those smiles on everyone's faces. It warms my heart.
We often find that when people are directly interacting with animals and experiencing the joy that they bring to them, what's really exciting and fun to see is that the animals don't see that there's any difference between somebody visiting that might be wearing a feeding tube, or they might not have any hair because they've been going through treatments for cancer. The animals don't see them as being any different than the other person that's sitting next to them, and they'll interact with them exactly the same way. It's so much fun. It basically overwhelms the day, and you can forget about all of the troubles that you're seeing in your daily life. It kind of takes you outside of that for a few hours, and that's really something very special.
So Luke's current condition is a success story. He is currently cancer-free, and he has been cancer-free for about 18 months, going on 2 years. Overall, I mean, we are doing great, and he is back to being as normal of a kid as you can be after cancer.
My family is probably the best family I could ever ask for. My dad is funny and he plays games with me, especially Clash of Clans. And my mom is very sweet, and when I'm down, she always helps me get back up. And my sister, she's always there for me to help me through struggles, and it's just always fun to be around them.
Watching Luke be nurtured by nature and be here with our family has been indescribable. It's been so wonderful, and I really can't believe that we got to do this, and it's memories we will take with us forever.
broadcasting studios at Secaucus Middle School, I'm Bailey Furon.
And I'm Brianna Hawkshurst, and we have great news to share. Known as the Oscars of Education, the prestigious Milken Educator Award was received by one of our very own Secaucus Middle School teachers. Tony Ann Pomisano was seated in the bleachers along with her students, believing they were there for an assembly. Little did she know, she had won a $25,000 award received by only 44 teachers across the country.
The Milken Educator Award goes to Tony Ann Pomisano!
Ms. Pomisano has been a teacher for 9 years, and each year her students' test scores have increased. The Milken Educator Awards have been presented for 30 years to standout educators from across the country. The nonprofit selection process is entirely secret. Teachers do not apply, nor do they know they have been nominated for this award. Ms. Pomisano is known for being a fun math teacher and singing songs about the material to help students learn. Outside the classroom, Ms. Pomisano remains active in the school by being head of the yearbook club as well as student government clubs.
What this means to me can't even be expressed using words. I in no way ever could have imagined that this could have happened. I do what I do because I love every single moment of it, and I mean that. I knew I wanted to be a teacher since I was probably in 2nd grade. I am just so lucky. And I just want to say thank you. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. But thank you so much. I appreciate this more than you know, and I am in total shock. I'm literally shaking. So thank you, and thank you.
Tony Ann, I just want to congratulate you on behalf of all of the Department of Education. Thank you so much for your service to your children, for recognizing them as whole students who need to be grown and not just academic learners. The way that you reach into each and every one of your students to find their greatest potential and help them to grow and develop is just extraordinary. We couldn't be happier to have you representing our educators in New Jersey. We welcome you to the family, and we thank you so much for all that you do, and congratulations.
And Speaker Prieto is here to congratulate you as well.
It's with great honor and a special privilege to be here, and with this honor, congratulations being from Secaucus and you teaching our future, the brightest, and they're lucky to have a teacher like you, and that's why I believe in education, and I've strived my 4 years as speaker to give you the tools and resources, because excellent teachers like you is what creates the future, and you can be anything you want to be. Teachers are a good profession too. So congratulations, Tony Ann. God bless you.
As previously mentioned, the Milken Educator Award comes with a cash prize of $25,000, which can be spent in any way the recipient sees fit. Ms. Pomisano plans to put the money towards the school. She was taken by surprise and jumped up and down with excitement upon receiving this well-deserved award. Congratulations, Ms. Pomisano. Until next time, I'm Brianna Hawkshurst.
And I'm Bailey Furon. Have a great day.
this interview, and I'm happy to let you know, Mr. Record, that you've got the job. Mr. Harper, thank you, but we have declined your application.
What? This is my 6th interview today. I showed up, and I deserve that job.
Joe, are you sure that you deserved it? I mean, you weren't showing any good work ethic. You aren't now as an adult, and you sure didn't when we were kids.
That doesn't matter.
Come on, let's take a look at our past. I want to show you something.
I have your test back.
What? An F? I showed up. I took the test. I at least deserve an A. Well, you didn't take any notes. I offered to study with you, but you declined the offer. You didn't put in any real effort. What did you expect? I expect at least to pass.
Oh, that's okay. I'll let you retake it again tomorrow. Hopefully you'll pass next time.
Really? He gets to take it again? I got an F, but I don't get a retake.
That's not fair.
See, you never showed any real work ethic. You just expected everything to be handed to you, and it was.
Well, that was just school. What does that matter?
Okay, let me show you something else.
Where were you? You know practice is important. Who cares? Practice doesn't matter.
The starters for our game Saturday: Helen, Miles, Paige, Bowen, Aiden, and Cameron.
What? I'm not one. I deserve to be one. I'm the best player.
Oh, you're right. Hey, Cameron, why don't you sit this one out so we can have our best player on?
That's not right, Cameron. You deserve to be on this team. You always work so hard. You should be a starter.
Well, maybe next game.
See, you never were a team player, even back then. You were only in it for you. And that means that you didn't have great work ethic.
Well, I kind of see your point. Well, that was nothing really important. I mean, it was just junior high sports.
Okay, I can see that you still don't understand just how important good work ethic is. Come on, let me show you something else.
Joey, I'm in the kitchen and the dishes are still in the sink. The counters are filthy and the garbage is overflowing. I thought I asked you to do that 2 hours ago.
Mom! I'm playing video games with my friend Cameron, and that's important. Can't you help me out?
Okay, honey, I'll do it for you this time. You have fun with your friend.
I can always come back later. Your mom doesn't have to do those chores for you. It's fine. She does it all the time. Okay.
I know what you're going to say. I have really bad work ethic, and I still do. But what did all those adults in my life enable me? My coach, my teacher, and even my mom.
Well, I can't answer that one, but I hope that you understand that you had a choice too.
I know I did, and I chose the wrong door. I really needed to improve my work ethic to make better choices in my life.
I'm glad that you understand just how important good work ethic is, and I honestly hope that next time you're the one who gets the job.
Welcome to Sherwood Elementary's School-Wide STARS program. We're so glad you're here. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as we give you a look into our STARS program.
At Sherwood, we always aim for the stars.
At Sherwood, we always aim for the stars.
At Sherwood, we always aim for the stars.
What does STARS stand for?
S is for staying on task.
T is for targeting success.
A is always having a positive attitude.
R is for being respectful and responsible.
S is for safety as a top priority.
Keep reaching for the stars, Sherwood Archers.
Each morning, 6th grade students at our school start their day with morning news. Morning news is presented by 6th grade students, and they remind our school how to show star behavior each day. As students model star behaviors, they can earn Starbucks. Starbucks can be turned in at our school store on Fridays. Our school store is open on alternating Fridays for students in K through 2, 1 week, and grades 3 through 6 the next.
So Starbucks are our school's money. You get them for doing our star expectations, which are S for staying on task,
T is for targeting success.
A is for always having a positive attitude,
R is for being respectful and responsible.
and S is for having safety as a top priority. For 50 Starbucks, you can go to our school parties, which there are about 4 each year. They're a lot of fun, and the more you get, the more you can do. And we're about to show you our school store, which you can spend Starbucks to get a lot of items.
For 5 Starbucks, you can get pencil toppers, grippers, silly straws, erasers, hoop emoji erasers, pencils with toppers, and some normal pencils. For 10 Starbucks, you can get cars, stamps, crafts, and a mix of stamps and pencil sharpeners.
So over here, you can get things from 15 to 60 Starbucks. So for 15, you can get jump ropes or these cute little Lego figures, which I like this one, it's adorable. And then for 20,
you can get these cool ducks with like costume ducks. You can get this doll, some chalk, some crayons, and some nail polish.
Then for 25, you can get
Shopkins, these little dogs, and you can get this giraffe and this lip gloss.
For 30 Starbucks, you can get some The Secret Life of Pet action figures, a Shopkin. You can get nail polish, this cool little ice cream toy, and headphones. You can also get pop sockets and bubbles.
And for 40, you can get this football. You can get this.
Heads up!
Yes, finally.
You okay?
Yeah. Now hit me in the back. Thank you for helping me.
You're welcome.
Here's a Starbucks for helping your fellow students.
Thank you.
Our big event each 9 weeks is the Starbucks party. Our first party was a movie party. Our second party was a free time and outdoor games party. Our upcoming party will be on March 9th and will be a water field day party. Start earning Starbucks today and we'll see you there. Thank you for joining us to learn more about our STARS program. Now, get out there and earn some Starbucks.
For our last story tonight, we're going back to elementary school. Did you know that most elementary schools in NERC only have 2 types of clubs? What? I had no idea. Why? Well, let's go find more from Desiree.
Sources say that schools tend to have clubs that are PARC tested. PARC stands for Partnership for Assessments of Readiness for College and Careers. The PARC test covers 2 subjects, English, Language Arts, Literacy, and Mathematics, given to all students from grades 3 and up at the end of the school year. The stakes surrounding park results are very high, with scores accounting for 10% of a teacher's final evaluation and 30% of a principal's evaluation. However, one school in Newark is not following that trend. What are some after-school clubs offered at Sussex Avenue, Reno?
We offer filmmaking, fencing, mathematics analysis, cursive writing, and even Renaissance science.
Why did you choose these specific clubs?
Actually, I didn't choose the clubs. The teachers chose the clubs. What we like to do is focus on teachers' passion, and that helps students understand to have a fuller life. So instead of just having a math and literacy club, we like to have experiences from the teachers so that students understand that teachers are more than just a math teacher.
I understand now principals want students to do well on the park test, and they reinforce that through after-school math and literacy clubs, especially for those students that need help.
But does that mean schools should exclusively offer only those two clubs? I talked to several students and teachers at Sussex, and here's what they had to say. If there were only math and ELA clubs, would you teach after school, and why?
Probably not. I kind of like the extracurricular where the kids get to experience something different. I have taught, extra math clubs at the end after school, and I find a lot of kids, the last thing they really want is an extra math class after school or an extra language arts class after school. They like to experience different things. And like the First Lego League is where they can believe it or not, they're doing a lot of math, a lot of thinking, and it's a lot more fun doing it with a robot than it is doing it on a piece of paper.
My name is Miss Bonilla. My club is 6th grade problem solving. I teach 6th grade throughout the year, and I noticed that some of our kids need extra problem solving skills and strategies.
Do you think it's fair that most schools in Newark only have math and literacy clubs, and why?
No, I do not think it's fair that most schools only have math and literacy clubs because kids get tired of doing math and literacy all day long. They need other things to help stimulate their mind, and by doing hands-on things such as science or spoken word or stepping or dancing, it actually can stimulate them to actually want to learn more and want to come to school.
Well, I have a strong background in science and history, and so I think it's important to remember how things used to be done so that we can learn from that and maybe apply those things to problems that we face now. Get to spend time with students in a way that I find, and I think they find very meaningful, and they learn how to create and design things and test things out and improve upon them, which is what science is all about.
What after-school clubs are you a part of at Sussex?
I'm a part of Focus, Science, and the First Lego League.
Why did you pick those clubs?
I picked these clubs because they let me feel free, and then we do a lot of active things.
I picked filmmaking because I wanted to try out acting, and I wanted to try out being in front of a camera for the first time.
How do you feel when you're in those clubs?
I feel relieved when I'm in both clubs because sometimes my day is not so good and I get to relieve all the stress that I have.
How would you feel if you found out that there was only math and literacy clubs in Sussex, and why?
Well, I'll know that they're trying to make the students learn more, but I'll feel bad for those kids because I like to do an activity in a sport too.
I picked filmmaking because you get to express yourself in it, and you can actually show that kids can make videos and they can film.
Seems like Sussex Avenue students have a message for other schools in Newark.
Yes, they do.
Please offer more clubs!
This is Desiree for KWN SARS reporting live from Sussex Avenue Reno School. Back to you.
Well, that's a positive ending. Principals, take note. Thank you for joining us at KWN SARS, and have a great night.
Teens are spending more than 1/3 of their days using media. It is the first thing they do when they wake up and the last thing they do before bed. Social media is not social after all. Research shows social networks are causing loneliness in teens because real social skills are going out the window. A lack of real personal interaction with friends is leading to feelings of isolation, depression, and anxiety. Periodically disconnecting and interacting with friends in real life can lead to stronger, healthier, and more rewarding friendships and relationships. Negative messages left on social media can leave long-term psychological scars and lead to depression and feelings of lower self-worth. Intimidating, cruel, and aggressive comments can make teens feel like everyone sees them and identifies them by those hurtful words. It can almost feel like you are walking through life with those words written all over your face. Many times when teens arrive home from school, they immediately go online to check their social media feeds. Visually oriented social media platforms have a significant negative impact on a teen's body image. Teens are constantly seeking approval for their appearance on social media, which leads them to compare themselves to others. Teen cyberbullying through the use of social media is on the rise. Cyberbullying is defined as the use of an electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. Cyberbullying has negative effects on victims such as lowering self-esteem, increasing depression, and producing feelings of powerlessness. Comparisons to others, unrealistic ideals set by celebrities, photo editing, and negative comments left on social media can lead to harmful effects to teens' self-body image. In turn, teens are not satisfied with their appearance, are quick to point out personal flaws, and become unhappy with who they are. Social media posts can also set unrealistic expectations and create feelings of inadequacy, low self-esteem, and depression in teens. So what else can we do to stop the negative effects of social media on teens? Call a friend instead of texting. Calling humanizes our relationships and is less likely to lead to misunderstanding someone. Go offline, disconnect, and go outside. Take a hike, jog, bike, boat, swim, whatever. There is such beauty in nature and it's healthy and free. Plan an outing with your friends and have some good old-fashioned fun in real life. Your experiences will lead to laughter, fun, friendship, and memories. The impact of social media on teens can have both positive and negative effects. The key is to learn balance in your life with both online and offline experiences. Balance is the key to a healthier teen.
Stay at home, take care of the kids, cook. You shouldn't study engineering. That's not for girls.
I just think it's because I'm a girl on a guy's team, and since that is, they won't let me play because usually I guess they just let girls play on a girl's team, but since I'm a girl on a guy's team, they're not going to allow me to play.
Every day, girls across the country and the world tell similar stories as you just heard. Girls throughout history have had their power taken away. Our voices have been silenced too many times and our abilities underestimated. As recently as last year, the president of Turkey said that girls being equal to boys is against nature, and that they should be equivalent but not equal. That sounds so much like what African Americans went through during segregation of separate but equal schools. 5 years ago, the Tunisian government wanted to change their constitution to say women do not have equal rights but complementary rights. But the women of Tunisia took to the streets like the country had during the Tunisian Revolution, and the government had changed the constitution to read all citizens, male and female alike, have equal rights and duties, and are equal before the law without discrimination. It was less than 40 years ago that here in the U.S., colleges excluded girls from attending or limited how many girls could take classes. That didn't change until 1972 in the U.S. with the passage of Title X. But here we are, almost 40 years later.
So they basically won't let you play just because you're a girl? Yeah, on the guys' team. They since I'm a girl on a guy's team, they kind of find that awkward, I guess, or weird because, most girls aren't able to handle being on a guy's team. You gotta stay caught up with them and be able to be as aggressive as them on a court. And you gotta be able to keep it together because, playing on an all-boys team, it's kind of stressful.
What happened on your basketball team?
I did a lot of the tournaments, the regular tournaments, but then there's something called the Golden Crown that I was gonna join. Because with the tournaments, they were just a couple tournaments that happen each Saturday and stuff, but after we win enough tournaments, we would be able to get to go to the Golden Crown.
So you're a winning team?
Yeah.
So what happened in the Golden Crown?
I didn't get to go.
Why is that?
Because I'm a girl on a guy's team.
Why won't they let you play?
I don't know. I haven't really got a response to that, and I just think it's because I'm a girl on a guy's team, and since that is, they won't let me play because usually, I guess they just let girls play on a girls' team, but since I'm a girl on a guy's team, they're not going to allow me to play.
It's sad that Janae isn't allowed to play in the championship, but what's sadder are the few opportunities girls have in the first place.
So many women who have sacrificed so much to bring us to where we are. Women and men fight for gender equity every day. They go to jail and die for this cause. We have to remember those unsung women that allow us to stand on their shoulders and see a better future.
My name is Oliver. My name is Aurelia. Our 4th grade class volunteers by helping a medically fragile class. Every day, kids from our classroom go to a special school called California Avenue. Here's a little documentary we put together. Enjoy.
So I'm an education specialist at California Avenue. This is my 9th year at this school. This is a medically fragile classroom. Our kids have some medical needs, so we have a nurse in our classroom that tends after our kids' medical. I work on the academic portion of the classroom, and I have aides who are helping me both with the medical needs for our kids and the educational needs of our kids.
And then comes 30, and you count along with me. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26,
there you go.
27, 28, 29, and then comes 30.
More pumpkin.
Pumpkin,
Pumpkin. Quarter, quarter, quarter.
Undershirt, undershirt.
It's like you talk to your pseudo son.
Undershirt, undershirt.
You like that. You liked it. Zoe likes music.
Zoe likes music. You do that, Jordan?
Let's see those hands dance. Let's see those hands. Ladders, pick up your 18.
All right, good. There you go. Good.
Sing with me. A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. My A, B, C's. There you go. A, R, S, T, U, V, W, X. Dude's going, stop that right now.
Do here. We help the kids and we teach them some stuff. Do you read to them sometimes? Yeah, we do.
Classroom dog. Say hi, Dude. Dude helps support. Dude sometimes he gets camera shy. Hi, buddy. He helps us out too with our kids when our kids are feeling bad, and Dune likes to get near them and help them feel better, and he's part of the family. A little room for our kids with vision needs. We'll put them here on their back, and then we have some shiny objects up here and also some different sounds, so they can play with the cups. They can use a switch, so they can make choices like this. And then they can hold the object and they can tell us what they want to do with up and moving. Some of them, like Zoe here, this is a stander. So this helps Zoe stand because she can't stand on her own. So now she can stand in here and join the class. Any November birthdays?
My brother.
It's January.
I'm gonna sit here.
Happy January.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Tuesday.
I got another one. I'm still dancing.
It's a free for all right now.
I like dancing. So, what do you guys do?
Oh, well, I snuggle and I play. And
do you have fun playing with your friend?
Yeah, it's super fun.
Thank you for watching our news program. My name is Sabrina. And I'm Aurelia. And I'm Oliver. KWN out.
I think what that means is that you treat someone differently based on their gender or maybe their sexuality.
It would mean like stereotyping somebody or denying them rights based on their gender or sex. So whether they're male, female, or a different type of gender.
Sexism is when like one gender gets treated better than like another or gets more benefits.
Like oppressing or judging somebody based on their gender.
Being mean to another sex or gender.
see it sometimes at school.
I would say a lot in the media. Like the fashion magazines where they're all airbrushed, they look perfect. That would be, to me, an instance of sexism because it's encouraging women to like put more emphasis on their physical appearance than it is to put on their achievements and their minds and their brains and their intellect.
One example that's really big right now is inequality in pay.
According to Business Insider, for every dollar a man makes, a woman only makes 79 cents. That's 21% less.
I see it like in schools, you know, it's in jobs, like you have a whole wage gap going on and you have all that stuff.
All over the place. It's literally all over the world.
Nowadays, like in sports, I see a lot of sexism, mainly when I go to a football or basketball or really any sporting event. It's always male. I never see any female, especially football and basketball, which is kind of weird.
Recently in an interview with Cam Newton made a comment towards a female reporter. The comment implied that women don't know or can't play sports as well as males can.
Gender stereotypes of males being like really tough, not showing emotions, and for women it's to be like always put together, makeup on, just kind of not athletic or kind of fragile. I think that's a lot of things, fragile.
And then of course there's like, you know, those economic stereotypes, like the woman is not supposed to make more money than her husband.
Saying a girl can't do some sports, or saying like a boy can't like paint his nails or do makeup and stuff like that.
That like men are stronger and women are weaker, and like a lot like men are better and women are not.
Think that women are very athletic or that some are bad drivers, which totally isn't true. And some people think that men are like slobs and sloppy and stuff like that, which isn't true.
They're giggling and without feelings and wearing pink and purple, and guys are perceived as these tough people who go around and play football or soccer and who wear blue and red. So
it's probably going to be pretty hard to put an actual end to it because it's been around for a really long time. Other than that, I would say, especially for the youth, working with kids to make sure that they understand that just because you hear it from the media or it's like kind of the way it's always been, it doesn't have to be that way in the future.
We can try to put an end to it by stop using these ridiculous terms that classify us into these two places. Like, instead of saying man up, why would we say that? That doesn't make any sense. Why are we using man up? Because guys aren't always tough and girls aren't weak at all.
We need a better leader, like around the country. Like Donald Trump is spreading very negative vibes about women and like kind of degrading them. So I think we just need like a better leader around the country.